there was a sense of confidence from me for the preview of the Manchester derby, but it didn't turn out the way that I thought or expected. I never expected us to go to the Etihad and blow City away and simply dominate the ball and create chance after chance and look like a team that is ready to challenge, at the higher ends of the table. But what I didn't expect is us to make schoolboy errors, which again cost us. You could again say that we played well in certain stages, but we ended up not being as clinical as City, especially when we did get the chances we got. And the errors that we make, it's the same errors we keep seeing time and time again. Individual errors, errors as a team, goalkeeping errors. It just always comes into its fruition, and it doesn't look like Ruben Amorim has learned from his mistakes. The team selection, the lineup that he had for the start of the game, for me, it wasn't good, and I had my own reservations about as to why he started the likes of Binder, why he started, Ahmad as a 10 when he could have started Ugarte and Casemiro in midfield, to put Bruno as a number 10 with Mbumo and Sesko. Yes, Mazarawi, does okay as a right wing back, but he's better in the back line. Ahmad could have played right wing back, and you can talk about formations, you can talk about tactics, you can talk about systems, but we keep making the same mistakes. The goals that we conceded were avoidable, bar the first goal, which again comes down to individual brilliance and City doing what they know they can do. It took one moment from Doku to beat Shaw. He got a ball into the box and Foden was on hand to head it in. The two goals after that, it's avoidable. But again, the mistakes that we make, it doesn't help us. And you could also see that there was a lack of intensity yet again, a lack of determination, a lack of aggression, nobody wanting to tackle, nobody wanting to put their body on the line. And these things cannot happen, especially in a Manchester derby, not just against City, against Liverpool as well. You expect to have these players that are professionals turn up and you expect them to do well and put in a performance. Again, we're talking about pride here. We're talking about playing for the badge. And it's the same things we keep talking about. It's the same issues that we have to debate and figure out why this went wrong and why that didn't happen. But it's the same things. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. It's unacceptable. I certainly was quite distraught to see, Man United fans leaving the Etihad Stadium, and that was well before the game was done. Even then, we knew that the game was over. And it wasn't for the lack of trying in certain moments, because we did have good moments of possession. We did create chances. I mean, Mbumo pulled out a world-class save from Donnarumma from the volley that he took. There were moments where we perhaps could have done better in making certain decisions, especially when we were transitioning and counter-attacking City. And these are the fine margins that you have to get right in the Premier League. And if you don't, you can lose and you can be punished. You saw how we were punished. Look at the last goal that we conceded. A bit of lethargic and laziness in our play and a misplaced pass, then Haaland pounces and he had the whole of our entire half to get to Bayern and score the third goal. But even before that, we did not look like we were actually really going to trouble City. We don't put balls into the box enough. We don't find those penetrative passes. We look to play back rather than try and take a risk and play forward. It just looks very static, rigid. There isn't any flow, no fluency of movement between the players or interchanging in their positions in order to allow for us to create the spaces and create clinical chances to score from. The likes of Sesko, he got one shot off, but never again was given the ball with the runs that he made crosses into the box were not coming. It's the same thing Rasmus Højlund struggled with. He also didn't get the service that was required. And yes, part of him leaving United was his own fault, if we have to put it that way, based on his own performances. But that's not important. That's irrelevant. The fact that we lost 3-0 to our town rivals, Manchester City, in a game that they didn't look all that great either. They were just more clinical. They just knew what they needed to do in order to get the result. We didn't look confident. We didn't look like a team that was on the up, that, has been playing well but hasn't been getting the results, even though we have good performances. Amorim, talks about he's not going to change his system. He won't change, the way he wants the team to play. But you need to change personnel. You need to tweak your system in order to fix deficiencies and make the strengths of your players come to the fore rather than expose their weaknesses. Example, Bruno playing in midfield and in midfield too. We are exposing his weaknesses because there were so many times, every time Bruno wants to press and he's running beyond the likes of Mbumo and Sesko to try and press from the front and leaving a hole in midfield, which City easily exploited by putting in a Phil Foden behind Bruno, exploiting. And of course, Doku as well. That is how they got their first goal. But what happens next for Ruben Amorim? Sir Jim Ratcliffe was at the game and didn't look happy when they showed him on screen. And you ask yourself the question, does he survive come the Liverpool game? We have Chelsea coming up next. Brentford, who again are a team that on the day can cause problems for us. And we don't look like a team that can handle a team like Brentford who would give their all. Liverpool are winning, and you can call it by luck. You can call it the way champions do, winning late games. When we go to Anfield, it's not going to be that particular easier game. No, it's going to be worse. We have to really improve. We don't have midweek games, so in training we should be working on these issues. I think by now we should have fixed certain issues, but we haven't. And I'm all for patience, I'm all for waiting, but time is running out for Ruben Amorim. And the more we lose, the more we have bad performances and we don't get the results that is needed. I'm going to keep saying it. Ruben Amorim is not going to last as Man United head coach. We're going to have a new coach before the end of the season, or maybe even next season, if Ineos them give Ruben Amorim the season to fix things. Time will tell. But you let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on the Manchester derby, what your thoughts are on Ruben Amorim, the players, the performance, etc. You let me know. Let's engage. Let me know. I am really disappointed, really gutted by the loss to City. I'm getting tired of the losses. I'm getting tired of the bad performances. Things need to change. It really has to change because Man United cannot continue to fall the way we are, and we cannot continue to put ourselves in a situation where we are a laughing stock, where we are so easy to play against. But anyways, you let me know. Till we see each other again in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.